headline story this evening involves cycling, actually, because two of the biggest names of British cycling have ended up in hospital in the last 24 hours after being knocked off their bikes. Bradley Wiggins is recovering at home after a collision with a vehicle near his home in Lancashire last night. And this morning, the Team GB coach Shane Sutton suffered head injuries after a collision in Manchester. I think we've just got a hold of Dave Brailsford, who is, of course, Performance Director of British Cycling, head of Team Sky. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. It is a real problem. There's a lot of fatalities on the road. You got any thoughts on what might be done to help the situation?
Well, it's very, very rare for us to have two accidents in such close proximity to members of staff. But it does remind us all, how vigilant you need to be. And I think, without a doubt, there are two key things, particularly this time of the year. One is visibility, and making sure that actually, for a cyclist going out at this time of the year, you cannot be visible enough. The more brighter clothing and helmet, etc., and lighting that you can put on the bike and put on yourself is vitally important. And the second thing, of course, is the need to wear a helmet. And Shane was wearing a helmet today, and thankfully he was, because his head injury was it was a very, very nasty blow to the head.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's wearing a helmet probably saved him.
Yeah, how is he? It did sound quite serious, but we were told he'd be out in a couple of days, so obviously not too bad.
No, he's a tough old soul, Shane Sutton. For anybody who knows him, he's a tough guy. And he spoke to the office. He phoned up earlier on. He sounded a bit dazed, but he'll make a full recovery, and I'm sure he'll be back before we know it.
Good. What about training? What about your teams? I wonder. They move a lot more quickly than the average cyclist. Are they out there on roads training? What are the normal rules?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think they're very, very experienced bike riders, of course, and I think the key thing for any cyclist really is to anticipate ahead of where you're actually riding, and anticipate the movement of traffic and the decisions other traffic users will be making. And the further you think ahead, you can think ahead, the safer you are, essentially.
Yeah.
And so I think is that the pro riders who are really, really skillful bike riders can actually look way ahead and don't have to concentrate just on a few meters in front of them. But for anybody starting out in our sport, I think the ability to really think everything around you and try and preempt any sort of dangerous situation, slow down, and of course a slower speed in case of an accident or impact would be a key thing in terms of safety.
Yeah, just a final point there. There's a certain lack of sympathy between motorists and cyclists sometimes. If you go by the text we have, there's a lot of cyclists outraged by cyclists outraged by motorists, and vice versa. I guess the key to all that is if you're in a car, you could actually kill somebody. So it's worthwhile not getting steamed up, even if a cyclist behaves badly. Don't get angry is probably the answer, isn't it?
Well, I think so, and I think most cyclists own cars, and so a lot of car drivers cycle,
yeah.
And I think it's a question of mutual respect. And I think in society, if we can have a bit more mutual respect for all road users, and bear in mind that somebody who's on a bike is very, very vulnerable as against somebody who's sitting inside a car. And we live at such a fast-paced life these days that it's getting there a minute early or not being a minute late seems to be the priority, when shifting your foot 2 inches up off the accelerator onto the brake and just taking a bit of a breather and thinking it's not going to slow me down that much to take a wide berth around a cyclist, I don't think is too big an ask. But I think it's about mutual respect.
Yeah.
And if we have that, then I'm sure we could make our roads safer.
Chiro asked about Mr. Wiggins as well. Have you talked to him today? And we've heard that Shane, you say, is on the mend. What about Bradley?
Yeah, Bradley's home now. He's out of hospital, bumped and bruised, but he'll recover. He'll be fine.
Yeah, good. Dave, thank you very much indeed.